Hi, I'm Dr. Shauna of drshauna.com and welcome to Superfood Spotlight. The superfood we're featuring this week in the Spotlight is beets. Lovely beets, and including those beet greens. So let's take a look at why it's a superfood. We're going to look at the health benefits, and they are amazing, and then we're going to look at how you can incorporate it into your diet. So first of all, they're really high in fiber, about 3.4 grams of fiber in just 1 cup of beets. That's awesome. That's going to be great for our digestive health. It's going to help with combating colon cancer, all those great things. It's also very low in calories, only about 58 calories in a cup. So that's great. So you're going to be able to load up with that. Now, this is something that I also want to mention. It has a low glycemic load. Now, I use the word low. So I just want to clarify this. So it is a medium in terms of glycemic index, if you're just looking at the index. But a glycemic index is the measure of how much a food will increase your blood sugar. And we don't want food to really spike our blood sugar. And so this is a medium range, but beets, like a few other vegetables, are getting an unfair rap. And that's because glycemic index is based on 50 grams of carbohydrates. Well, when it comes to beets, you would need 4 cups of beets to be 50 grams of carbohydrate. Who eats 4 cups of beets in one sitting? That's excessive. So if you cut it down and look at a typical serving size, now that is the glycemic load, which takes into account a typical serving size. And now the glycemic load is 8, and anything less than 10 is low. So this is a low glycemic load. So effectively, it is not going to spike your blood sugar. So the glycemic index is really useful. But occasionally, you just kind of have to know the reasoning behind the numbers. So it is going to be absolutely diabetic friendly. You don't have to shy away from it. And some people are really afraid to have that. And you won't be eating a ton of it anyways. But you definitely will want to incorporate it into your diet because of all of the great health benefits. Specifically, let's talk about some of the antioxidants. Well, it has some of the usual characters like lutein and zeaxanthin, which is great for eye health, preventing cataracts, macular degeneration, but also it increases your glutathione. Glutathione is like your master antioxidant, and it helps to bind these toxins and excrete them. So that's a really healthy thing to have going on. And in addition, it has betalains, and these are compounds that give the beets that rich purple color, but also donate a lot of the anti-cancer effects and against degenerative disease, and we're going to talk about those in a little bit here. It is also anti-inflammatory, which is great. It's associated with a decrease in your inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, interleukin-6, tumor necrosis factor, so that's wonderful. We want that lower inflammation. Also, it has been associated with lower blood pressure. Now, beets, a lot of the studies with regards to beets relate to its dietary nitrates. And these are substances that when we eat them, they increase our nitric oxide, which helps to open up our blood vessels, which helps to improve our blood flow, improve oxygenation, all of that great stuff. And that has a number of effects. So by opening up those blood vessels, that helps to lower the pressure within our blood. So there was a study done in 2013 that found that a glass of beet juice a day was associated with a 4 to 5 point lowering in your blood pressure. Another study found a decrease in 10 points of your blood pressure over a 24-hour period. So really great, lots of great studies. Now, by opening up that blood flow and getting more blood flow out to the body and more oxygenation out to the body, that's going to have a few other ripple effects. So some of the other studies related to beets and its effect in this regard has been related to athletic performance and improvements there. Lots of different studies with lots of different sports. One of them in 2014 found they had cyclists, and they were indoors, but in a chamber that mimicked high altitude cycling. And the people who had beet juice beforehand had a 16-second improvement in their cycling. beet juice is in this regard. Not only is it getting blood flow there and improving oxygenation to your muscles, all that great stuff, but it's also improving getting rid of that lactic acid, so improving recovery as well. Another study found that people were able to exercise about 16% longer. An English study found that there was an increase in high intensity training and rowing athletes. So there's lots of studies. You can just Google beet juice and exercise if you want. You'll find a lot of information there. I myself take beet juice for this regard, and I also used it more importantly for my father after he had his stroke. It's one of the things that I brought into the hospital to help give him that boost when he was recovering post-stroke, because we want that increased blood flow and oxygenation, and we want him to get up and moving in physio, and so it's really quite effective. In that regard, beet juice is also very brain healthy. A 2010 study found that this increase in beet juice was also, again, associated with this increased blood flow and into the brain. So there have been some studies suggesting a decreased risk of Alzheimer's and other dementias. It's also got iron. Isn't it great to have a vegetarian source of iron? And this is a great one. So that's going to give you that energizing lift as well. And it's also detoxifying, particularly in the phase 2 process of detoxification, where we take these broken down toxins and we bind them up. They're in our blood, we bind it up, and we move it on out and excrete it. And beets are part of a nutritional cleanse that I do rather regularly. It's not a bowel cleanse, but it is very purifying, and so lots of studies again on that. And then finally, always one of my favorite is the anti-cancer effects. And in particular, there have been in human studies, there's been animal studies that showed that it's associated with an inhibition of multiple different types of tumors, but in human studies, in particular related to pancreatic, breast, and prostate cancer. So really, really great. Now, the beets themselves are wonderful, but the greens, the beet greens, are also really excellent, bone healthy, immune boosting, brain healthy as well. So you'll definitely want to chop those up, put them into juices and smoothies, saute them, all that great stuff. So how can we incorporate beets into our diets? Well, you can just have them raw, slice them up raw is fine. You can boil them, you can roast them, they're lovely roasted. Sometimes with some balsamic vinegar. I know we've done a few dishes like that. You can even throw them on a pizza. You can you can steam them. You can juice them. And in juicing them, which a lot of the studies were related to juicing them, they're raw and they are concentrated. So you get some of that nutrition that's concentrated as well, which is great. In soups, of course, borscht, that brings back some of my heritage as well. So that's one of my favorite ways to do that. Salads, it's so beautifully colored on salads. It really gives a pop of color and definitely a pop of nutrition. Got to be careful for the staining of those beets though. And then of course sauteed, and whether it's the beet root or the greens, all really great. And as I mentioned before, you can juice or saute those greens. So how do you enjoy beets? Have you been avoiding them because they kind of got a bad rap unfairly? I always hate when things get vilified unnecessarily. It helps to know some of the science behind some of those numbers that we go on and just kind of probe a little bit deeper into them. But beets are absolutely a superfood, have great health benefits, and is a wonderful thing to add into your diet. And they are the superfood that we are featuring in at least 2 of our superfood meals at MealCure. MealCure.com is an online superfood meal planning service I've created to help take the stress and the chaos out of what's for dinner and put the fun, joy, ease, and most of all, the health right back in for you. So, did you like this video? If so, feel free to like and comment below. Let me know how you enjoy your beets, and head on over to our YouTube channel at Dr. Shauna for more Superfood Spotlight videos, for more great information and tips. With that, have a fantastic week, and most of all, be good for you.